going to go over how to order our services. So ARKA actually offers proposal services. We offer design services. We offer assistance. So you can call on us at any time and we'll be able to help you out. And we can also order permit packs. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over those with you. Let me pull this up here. Okay. And we have videos in the past. We've gone over stuff before about how to really utilize this design, or excuse me, this dashboard app here. So real quick, just a fresh overview of this. You can completely customize this to fit your needs. So if you have a sales team, each sales rep can have their own dashboard, and then the admin can have their dashboards overlooking the entire company. Sales reps can fit this. You can have pretty much anything you want in here. Make sure to work with our team and we'll get this set up for you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get right into it. So as we've gone over before, how to actually create a lead. So what you can do is you just click create lead, enter the homeowner's name, who is owning this task. So if you have a lead generation company that has an API in with our platform, this will just come in whether you guys have it set as a round robin or if it's specified by area. If you have a door-to-door team, setters and closers, the setters can actually set this to their specific closer. Very simple to do. Email ID, phone number, property type, residential or commercial, lead source, where it's coming from, what pipeline they want to go into, and then they can put it in their address. Now, one special feature we have here with the address that's pretty unique is if you're working in a rural area, so let's say you're in Texas or Arkansas or North or South Dakota or Canada, you can actually just put in the latitude and longitude, and the address bar right here will strictly snap to that address, and then you'll be able to design on it. So what we'll do is we'll just click into this one. This one's already been created for us. This is actually a design I created for my sister in her house in LA. So what you would want to do is you first want to come in and it's going to go to the consumption profile here. Now we do have genability. So genability, what it will do is it'll take the area code, it'll pull up the utility provider, and it will pull up the rate. So in California, we have NEM3. So it'll pull up the NEM3 rate, and then you just put in the annual escalation rate. So NEM3, or excuse me, Southern California Edison, they're actually increasing their rates, but the annual increase is about 8% a year. So you can put that in there. Now, a lot of questions we've been getting is like, hey, what if we have like a weird co-op, or like, what if the utility scale that we need isn't in your platform? Two things. So one is you can actually make a flat rate right then and there. If you know all the information, you can put it in right here, super easy to use. You can also have a tariff list. So these are lists of utilities that we've been asked to create. Simple way to do that is you can either go into the settings and create one, or you can send it to me and my team will create it for you within 48 hours. It's very simple to do. It's not a really big hang up. Now you can go down to here to consumption, put in their consumption data, what type of profile they have. You can put in the critical load. So if there is a critical load that they need to be covered at all times, you can put that in there. We also are developing an appliance calculator here. So it's going to make that critical load issue a lot easier. And then you just put in their utility rate. So average monthly energy bill, you can pull this up from the utility bill that they gave you. Now the AHJ will show you, what building codes there are. So whether it's electrical, fire code, building code, residential code, it'll be in here. And it's an automatic snap too. So you can make those adjustments if you want, click a newer code or an older code, depending on what you want to do. Now documents, again, pretty straightforward. You can take a picture of a utility bill, finance approval, site survey. I remember when I was doing door-to-door, we had to take a picture of the main panel as well as the roof, any trees that we could, any HOA documents. You can pull all of this up on a smartphone or a tablet. And then you can also get the site survey link right here. And what this will do is this will send out to your site surveyor or the homeowner just saying like, hey, can you take these pictures for it right here? And then we go into the design. Now, there's a few ways to do a design on our platform. There's actually three. The first one is the one that I'll be going over mostly today. This is called the Design Studio. Now, in the Design Studio, there's a whole array of tools that you can touch base on, and I'll go over a few of them today to really make sure that you guys are comfortable with it. Now, the other one is sales mode. So this is for the door-to-door rep who needs to get into a home, create a proposal real quick. It's point and shoot, it's 3 steps, very simple to do. They can do it on an iPad with the homeowner and kind of have that experience with the homeowner. Now, the third one, which is what I'll go over as well, is the actual ordering of a proposal. Super quick, super easy to do. Basically, you just put in all the information that you would put in the project info into this. You can price it, add a battery, and you can choose when it will come back to you. So we can actually just get into that one now. So you can have 3 different delivery times, either 1 business day, 30 minutes, or 10 minutes. If you are doing a commercial project, I don't recommend the 10-minute. I recommend the 1 business day. That way we can get all the nuances that you need ordered and done for you. So we'll just click 1 business day. I agree. It's going to take it out of your credits. Now, a reminder for our VIPs is because you are VIPs, we gave you guys 1,500 credits of play money. So by all means, go in there, order proposals, get a feel for it. One unique thing about our platform as other platforms is that when you order a proposal, you don't just get it sent off into a void and then it comes back to you usually incorrect. You actually get a team of engineers working on it. And so if you order a proposal and we notice, there's something goofy on it, or it's priced too low, or, we have a question about it, you will actually get an email from a real life person saying, hey, we have a question about your order. Here's the question: would a Zoom time or would a meeting work? Here's my calendar link. Let's book a time together. Or I get notified and I reach out to you with any questions. So we have our credits. We're going to use our promotional account. We're going to click pay now. It's going to say good job. I just got an email saying thank you for ordering. There it is. I don't know if you guys heard that ding. But then what we're going to do is we're just going to go over the different rates. So again, it's going to ask us the utility provider. If this information is filled out on that first screen, it just pulls that information so you don't have to do it again, but you can double check it. Go, okay, everything looks good here. Save and next. It's going to ask us what price we want to sell it at. So we can either do it a flat price, price per watt, price per kilowatt. I'm comfortable with price per watt. So I'm going to do I think it's like 2.8 is pretty low in California. Sales tax, expected life of the panels is 25 years. Any maintenance cost you guys want to add to it, you can. Incentives, we have a whole incentive library here, our ITC right here. But if you have anything else, grants, if you created one, if there's a battery incentive, anything like that, you can add those in here. And you can actually create an incentive right here and right there. So if it's a special one-off that you want to do. So next, it's going to ask conventional PV or power gazebo. You can do both. So you can do conventional PV and a power gazebo. I'll show you how to do that. But here you can pick your module. So let's just do, REC. Okay, great. Let's do the 405s. Now, you notice there when I clicked it, there was a whole bunch of other ones and I kind of had to search it. You don't have to do that every time. When you get set up with us, you say, these are the panels that I'm using, and we make sure that that is the one that uses it every time rather than you having to search there every time. Whatever inverter, again, that you want to do. So let's just do the IQ8. There we go. And then any optimization target. So if you want to do maximum roof space or maximum bill savings, click that. Any photos you need to upload, anything like that that is important, you can add it to there. And then the next step, pretty simple. Any additional jurisdiction codes, those are already taken care of by the AHJ, so you don't have to add those if you don't want to. Project requirements, if you have a tree that's gone, or if you need to add something unique or special. The power gazebos, as you guys know, already comes with the IQ7s attachment. If you need them to be the IQ8s, if you're doing a power gazebo proposal, this is where you'd put that. You'd say, please reconstruct with the IQ8s. put a phone number and an email address so they can get in touch with you if they have any questions, submit it, and it'll come back to you in 1 business day. Very simple, very detailed, very straightforward. Now, the permit package is something I want to go over as well. So this, as you can see, you can get it back within 2 business days for 119 credits. We do have structural and electrical stamps. You can add those as well. For this case, what I want to do is I just want to run you through the ordering process of that. Again, we've had some questions on this. There's a couple of things on here, and I do want to let you guys know we are changing this to make it more user-friendly, and we've taken your guys' feedback, and we appreciate that. So we'll get that updated for you. So again, HJ has already been added. So now we're going to get into the permit pack questions. Now, I don't recommend doing this until after the site survey, because it's going to ask you site survey questions, and after the deal has been sold. We've had some people come to us saying, hey, I tried to do this prior to the project getting sold, and it's like, you have, there's questions that you need answered prior to. So it's just going to ask you the customer's name, contractor information, whether you're doing a roof mount or a ground mount. There is going to be a PV mode in here for the power gazebo. That's another question we had. Number of modules and inverters. So how many different roof planes you're working on and how many inverters you need, any optimizers. So pretty standard questions. Now, one of the questions that we had was down here. If you're doing a roof mount, ignore this section. You don't have to do anything with it. If you're doing a ground mount, ignore this section. You don't need that information. So you can ignore sections. It's okay. Enter all the information here. And then any site survey photos that you have, again, like I said, please do this after site survey. So meter location, service panel, all the stuff that you would take during a service, this is where you'd add those photos. It's going to ask for even more photos. So if you have anything else, please add them here. Now, again, here's the additional requirements. So if you have an additional requirement for the permit or the power gazebo, again, if you want to add the IQ8s rather than the IQ7s, this is where you do it. Contact information, any jurisdictional codes. So very simple right here. If you want additional training on this or you're not quite sure about a project and need help, please book a time with me. That's my job. I'm here to help you guys. So you can do that right there. Super easy. Again, we're happy to help you guys on this. You guys aren't alone on that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new design. So we're just going to click OK. This is going to bring us into our design studio. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about before we get into the design studio. So the first thing is that because you are VIPs and you are using the free platform, you do not have access to all of the features that I will show you today. You can't place roof panels. You can't string inverters. What you can do is you can place the power gazebo. So I'm going to show you guys how to place the power gazebo on a rooftop, but then I'm also going to show you guys what the benefits are to subscribing to our platform. So first, here's your house, beautiful home. You can look at a dual map on here. So what this will do is this will show you the house from a different angle. So if you have questions about a roof or an obstruction or a tree or you have any questions like that, you can look at it here. But then you can also pull up a street view. So you can actually look at the house up close and personal. So you can say, okay, let me see, okay, it looks like there's an obstruction right here. This roof plane looks good. You can, zoom in and out. You can go over here. Look down the street, I guess, if you want. But you can, look at the other home here. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, that doesn't really look viable. Okay, great. So you can totally do that here. Now, easy peasy, what you can do is you go to the power gazebo, click it. It's going to pull up our smallest power gazebo. So this is the 4x8. Now, if you're sitting with the customer, place the power gazebo, you say, okay, great. You can click 33 on your keyboard and it'll pull up a 3D image. Obviously, it's just the power gazebo because we haven't built the roof. And they're like, well, I want it a little bit bigger. That looks kind of small. Okay, great, no problem. Click on it again. And then you can just change the model type very simply. Again, you click on it till it highlights blue. Then you can change the model type, right? Just click update, boom, bigger model, right? Super easy to do. Now we can change it back. Let's do the 5x8. Okay, great. Here's the inverter option. Because you're not requesting it from us, you can do it yourself. So there we go. Now, if we want to build a rooftop, if we want to show them what a 3D proposal would look like, what you can do is you click this little home button, pitched roof, and all you need to do is trace the roof. I'm not going to lie, this does require a little bit of practice, but you guys are all pretty intelligent, and I feel like if you guys do this 3 times, you'll get it no problem. So what it's doing is it's tracing out the roof. Now, the reason why that's important is because when we start building this roof section with our PV models on it, it's actually going to take the dimensions of the solar panels and it's going to add them to the roof space that we have, including the fire codes that are needed. So as we can see, here's our roof section. Now, there are a couple things on here that we delete. So all we need to do is double click the section and just click delete on our keyboard. Easy day. Again, we can go over here, click delete. This is in a section, so click delete. This is in a section, click delete. Right? Now, if you messed up, let's say you clicked the wrong section or you want to go back, 2 ways to do it. Click this back button, or you can just Control Z. So we've developed hotkeys just because we know you guys are clicking all day. We want to save your fingers. So there is our roof section, right? Obstructions, we can place obstructions. So let's just do some little quick obstructions here. You take the circle, drag it out. And then over here, we can adjust the height. Now we can take that obstruction and copy it. And then we can click paste. So you can put this all along the roof if you want. So you don't have to build everyone. And then if we click 33 again, there's our design. So there's the 3D home that we have. We can adjust the height on it. And now there is our home. So if you just want to place a power gazebo, call it a day. There you go, job done. You can look at the sun path simulation. So it'll show you the date, time. If you want to look at the irradiance map, it'll show it on the home. Or if you want to look at the solar axis, you can show that as well. There you go. Red is bad, green is good. Super green. Okay, now we can hide this. Now, one thing I want to show you guys is how to do it if you actually subscribe and want to place it on top of the roof. Couldn't be easier. Double click the roof section you want to do. Boom. It's going to show us the AHJ. It's going to show us our area. Click fill face. Now, what we have in here is now we're looking at our solar panels. So click the solar panels that we want to use. It's going to give us different options here. Landscape or portrait. Okay, there's our panels. It's giving us space for our obstructions. Now what we can do is if we double click on that roof section again, it's going to show us the roof fate properties. But what we can do that's pretty unique is we can set rafter spacing. So we can show, okay, they're perpendicular rafter, they're 2 feet apart, they're parallel. Click update. This is not only going to show us where the rafters are, but it's also going to show us how the panels are going to connect to the rafters that way. So that's going to be good for your CAD modeling later or your permit modeling later once you have that information. So once we're good here, now what we can do is we can place our components. So components are stuff like inverters, right? So you can do a micro or you can do a string, your call. Micro inverters, add an inverter. You can choose which one you want. So let's just do this one. And then all you do is do a drag section like this. Make sure that all your panels are selected. Click the check mark, and it's going to show you where those are placed. Update, save. So now what we can do is we can calculate our generation. So this is going to show us a couple things. It's going to obviously show us the generation of these panels, but it's also going to show us the degradation of the panels over time. And I'll show you how to look at that. So it looks like we're at 165%. It's a little over the top, but whatever. But now the actual generation, this is going to show us the loss analysis. So this is going to show us the AC to DC conversion ratio. It's going to show us the irritants. It's going to show us the soiling factor. It's going to show us light-induced degradation. It's going to show you a ton of different things just to give you more ammunition so that when you talk to your homeowner and they say, hey, why'd you put the panels here and not here? Well, let me tell you, here's why. Da, 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 da. You can pull this up and show them. Now, what we can do now is there's a thing called a wire sizing calculator. So what that will do is that will actually show us what the required wiring is for this project. Gives you all the information here. You can choose how you're going to do it. You can also choose a combiner box, disconnect, combiner box interconnection. You can pull up a newer code if you want to. You can save it for your documents later. And then once you get back into it, if you press 4 twice or 44, you can pull up a single line diagram. Now the single line diagram is going to give you a couple different features that you can edit as well. Here's our end phase combiner box. You can show how it ties in, the fuse, production meter. This shows you how it's going to work in here. You can download this into PVSys or a CAD model or a 3D video. So you can do all the things from there, okay? So click save, and then now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you our battery. So this is how we do it. So once this loads, this is going to show, okay, here's how we design everything, and here's how we get it set up for you. Or excuse me, price it. And it's gonna show you the bill of materials. It's gonna show you adders and discounts. And then I'm gonna show you how the actual proposal looks. So our battery calculation tool is actually pretty unique and pretty accurate. And there's a couple ways to do it. So you can do for self-consumption here. You can pick the hour of how long you want it to be done. It's going to take into consideration your usage as well as the system size that you have on the roof. So let's say that we want 11.5 hours. Click refresh. It'll show us, okay, you need this size system to work. So then we just choose the battery we want to do. Let's do home grid. Let's do this one. Calculate backup. Okay. Looks like we have 14 hours of storage on critical load, 14 hours of storage only, and we have a day and 5 hours of solar and storage. So that shows you that calculation tool. So gone are the days of guessing what you need. Now, if you are in a time of use area that has a pretty strict NEM3 like California, if you click advanced right here, what you'll see is it has the utility rate and the buyback rate. So what you can do is you can look down, look at the different rates and say, okay, cool, it looks like we got a 66. So we're going to discharge it from the grid, from the battery, okay? Calculate backup, we can add battery. So now what that shows you is in the proposal, it'll show you the ROI and how that's changed based off when you're selling it back to the utility meter and what time and time of year and time of season you can do that in. So it's adding that battery in here. Here's our bill of materials. You can always add stuff. So if you're doing additional work on the house, you can add things in here, enter make or quantity. Financing and pricing. We do have, we are able to, I should say, API in any financing tool you guys are currently using. So we have already set up with GoodLeap and Mosaic. If you have Sunlight, if you have anything else, we can add it in here as well. So pricing, you can either do a system size pricing, you can do a financing pricing, again, loan, lease, PPA. You can also set up advanced pricing. So if you want to do anything with depreciation, here are your adders and discounts. Again, additional incentives if you want them. And then it shows you the estimated savings over years. So you can add all that information in here as well. Go back to the design. Now there's 3 different proposals we can pull. So here's a web proposal. And this is going to be completely customizable by Q1. So there's going to be a template lead flow to show you how to do all that. So while that pulls up, I'm going to pull up the document as well. The document is actually my favorite proposal of the 2. So here is our web design. Now this is live. So if you sit with a homeowner and they're like, well, what will it look like if we do this one? If you make the change, this will automatically update with the homeowner. So what you can customize now is all of the text. Obviously, this will be your logo. Here's that 3D design that we created. System details. Here's that bill of materials. System orientation. There's that battery we were talking about. Production versus savings. PV as an asset. System pricing. Cost of not going solar. Warranties. Install roadmap. And then if you want, they can actually sign this as a letter of intent or a contract.